Not what you think. High above the frozen lands of Alaska, hidden behind silence, security fences, and scientific language, stands a facility most people have never seen. Yet many believe it can touch the sky itself. A place officially described as harmless research, but whispered about as something far more powerful. They call it HAARP. Some say it listens to the atmosphere. Some say it talks to the ionosphere. And others believe it does something far more dangerous. Controls the weather, triggers earthquakes, and quietly experiments on the human mind. Tonight, we uncover the theory, the technology, and the fear behind one of the most controversial projects ever built. This is the HAARP mystery. High above the Arctic Circle, where the land remains frozen for most of the year and silence feels heavier than sound, lies a scientific installation that has fueled decades of speculation, fear, and unanswered questions. Officially known as the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HAARP. This facility was introduced to the world as a peaceful research project designed to study the Earth's ionosphere. But from the moment its massive antenna arrays were constructed, many began to question whether this was truly just science, or something far more powerful hiding behind technical terminology. HAARP was developed during a time when military dominance was no longer just about bombs and bullets, but about control of information, communication, and potentially even nature itself. Funded initially by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and DARPA, HAARP immediately raised eyebrows. Why would the military invest millions into a project that claimed to simply study the sky? And why build it in one of the most remote, restricted regions on Earth? The ionosphere itself is a mysterious layer of Earth's atmosphere, stretching from about 60 kilometers above the surface into the edge of space. It plays a crucial role in radio communications, satellite signals, and navigation systems. HAARP's official mission was to transmit high-frequency radio waves into this layer to better understand how it behaves. But critics argue that understanding is only the first step toward manipulation. HAARP's antenna array, capable of transmitting billions of watts of effective radiated power, sparked fears that it could heat, bend, or destabilize parts of the ionosphere. To some, this sounded less like observation and more like experimentation on a planetary scale. Scientists involved insisted the energy levels were safe and localized. Yet independent researchers questioned how localized anything could truly be when it involves the sky above the entire planet. As HAARP came online, strange coincidences began to capture public attention. Unusual weather patterns, sudden storms, unexplained atmospheric disturbances, and rare auroras appeared in unexpected regions. While meteorologists attributed these events to natural climate variability, conspiracy theorists drew lines between HAARP's operational periods and global anomalies. Earthquakes struck without clear warning. Storms intensified rapidly. Critics asked whether HAARP's transmissions could influence jet streams or pressure systems, subtly steering weather patterns over vast distances. Officially, this was impossible. But unofficially, leaked documents and patents related to weather modification and electromagnetic manipulation kept the debate alive. If technology existed to seed clouds decades ago, many asked what might exist now. Beyond weather control, another theory gained traction: mind manipulation. The human brain operates on electrical impulses, and HAARP transmits electromagnetic frequencies. To some researchers, this overlap was too convenient to ignore. They speculated that specific frequencies could influence mood, behavior, or even mass psychology. During periods of social unrest, unusual anxiety spikes, or unexplained behavioral trends, HAARP's name resurfaced. Again, no proof was ever provided, but the idea embedded itself deeply into public consciousness. Fear does not require certainty. It only requires plausibility. And HAARP, shrouded in secrecy and military funding, provided exactly that. Then there were the patents. Documents filed decades earlier described methods for altering the ionosphere, disrupting communications, and even creating artificial auroras. While patents do not confirm active use, they demonstrated intent and imagination. The question shifted from can HAARP do this to why think about doing this at all? Some theorists suggested HAARP was part of a larger global system, one node in a network of atmospheric manipulation tools operated by world powers. A silent arms race, not for land or resources, but for control over the planet's natural systems. The secrecy surrounding HAARP only intensified suspicions. Media coverage was minimal. Access was restricted. Information came mostly from official statements and technical papers inaccessible to the general public. When HAARP temporarily shut down operations, rumors exploded. Some believed it had failed catastrophically. Others claimed it had gone underground or been integrated into even more advanced systems. When control of the facility transferred to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, officials stated it was now purely academic. But skeptics asked whether a name change truly meant a mission change. Former insiders and whistleblowers occasionally surfaced, claiming HAARP experiments went far beyond public knowledge. Some spoke of classified tests conducted during geomagnetic storms, others of experiments timed with global communication blackouts. None provided verifiable evidence, yet their stories followed a pattern, one of compartmentalization, silence, and fear. Whether true or not, these narratives added layers to HAARP's legend. In the age of information, silence often speaks louder than confirmation. As climate change accelerated and extreme weather events became more frequent, HAARP once again found itself at the center of suspicion. Was it a coincidence, or was technology amplifying nature's chaos? Scientists argued passionately that climate change had clear, measurable causes unrelated to HAARP. Still, for many, the idea that humanity now possessed tools capable of interfering with planetary systems felt disturbingly believable. History had shown that technological power often outpaced ethical restraint. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the HAARP mystery is not what it can or cannot do, but what it represents. It symbolizes a moment in human history where science, military ambition, and secrecy intersect. A moment where the line between observation and control becomes dangerously thin. Even if HAARP is exactly what officials claim, a research facility, its existence proves that manipulating the atmosphere is no longer science fiction. And once something becomes possible, the question is no longer if, but when and by whom. Today, HAARP stands quieter than it once did, its antennas pointing skyward like unanswered questions. Some believe the project ended. Others believe it evolved. And many believe we will never truly know the full truth. Because the most powerful systems are not always those that destroy cities or launch missiles. Sometimes, the most powerful systems are the ones that operate invisibly, silently, far above our heads, where no one thinks to look and no one can easily prove what is happening. HAARP may be a myth. It may be misunderstood science. Or it may be a warning, a reminder that as our reach extends into the sky, so too does our responsibility. And if that responsibility ever fails, the consequences may fall on everyone beneath it. HAARP remains one of the most debated projects of the modern age. A scientific tool to some, a global threat to others. The truth may lie somewhere in between, or far beyond what we've been allowed to see. And as technology continues to grow, one question becomes impossible to ignore. Just because we can control nature, does it mean we should? This is Mental Documentary. If this documentary made you question what you thought you knew, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More hidden stories are coming. Stay curious, because the sky may be listening.